Hey guys, welcome back to my garage. I hope you guys out there are doing well. Leave a message down below. Let me know that you guys are doing good and you're all safe. Other than that, on a more positive note, as you guys can see, I have a KTM 525 EXC in my garage. So let's see what's wrong with it. Let's see what the plans are, but enough with the chit chat. Let's get on it. So first of all, where does this bike come from? This bike was a co-worker slash friend of mine that had it in his garage for a couple of years without starting. So the bike does not run and has all the problems associated with a bike being parked for that long. Why did I got this bike? Well, there are two main reasons why I got this bike. Actually, three. First of all, a license plate. This bike is street legal, so eventually, once it's all mechanically sound and looking good, maybe I'll turn it into a supermoto. The second reason is electric start. Yeah, the battery is dead. The third reason I got this bike was the price. The price was good. The price was really good. The bike was collecting dust in this friend of mine garage, and he decided that he'd rather make a few bucks out of it than just let it rot over there. As I said, this bike needs primarily TLC, but let's take a closer look and see the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's start with the good, obviously. So the good thing is the frame is not bent and is actually in pretty good shape. The sprockets, they're actually in really good conditions because I'm assuming that when they got replaced, they didn't use it that much. On top of that, this bike comes with few amenities already installed. One being the steering damper, which probably is gonna need service, but better than nothing. Second of all, there is a KTM gauge, which will do for now. It comes with a battery tender plug already attached to it. It comes with an aftermarket exhaust, and on top of that, I believe the suspensions have some work done to them. The rear shock spring is a factory connection, should be progressive spring. I'm gonna try to find out for what weight is set. I'm hoping the spring inside the front fork have been replaced as well. Hopefully, since the average population here in America is about 220 pounds, which is about my weight, hopefully that's the right spring rate that is being installed on it, but I'm gonna find that out once I open those things. Another good thing about this bike is the seat. This is the plush seat. It's plushier than normal, so it's aftermarket. I sat on it and it feels pretty good compared to my Yamaha. This is a street bike. The Yamaha is purely off-road. You're not supposed to be sitting on the Yamaha as much compared to this. All of those pluses, coupled with the license plate, the fact that it has an electric start, and the price, put a lot of weight on the good on this bike. Let's take a look now at the bed. When it comes to the bed, well, this bike is being used quite a bit. The plastics are all pretty much scratched up, which is not a big deal. The handlebar is bent. We have a bent clutch lever, and the clutch feel is not that great. Wondering if it's because the oil has been leaking or if because that's just the way it is, but this is gonna get replaced eventually. The grips are being used quite a bit, need replacing. A few parts are broken, like the right turn signal here is broke. The right peg is bent, like badly bent, like it got hit pretty hard. And some parts are missing altogether, like the cover over here is missing. And then we have the right fork, which apparently is leaking some fluid. It's a 2004 bike, so it is getting up there with age. So I have all those little age-related problems, little leak here, a little leak there. The bike was pretty dirty when I got it. And I put my A-team on it and they scrubbed it up and cleaned it up. And then they got distracted by a earthworm, so I had to finish myself, but that's beside the point. My point being is that when I got it, this whole part here was pretty much covered in oil. I'm not sure if it's just overspray from the chain, or if is just the residue from a previous oil change. In those KTM, to do an oil change, the filters are here. There are two filters and you gotta remove it, and the oil is gonna spill over the engine. And if you don't rinse it off or wash it off every time, over time it's gonna build the grime and on and on. So we'll see if it's actually a leak or if it's because of those other things I just mentioned. Now, the two side covers, like the stator cover on this side and the clutch cover on the other side, are pretty scratched up, so eventually that is gonna get taken care of. The clutch, I believe, is leaking, and KTM uses a special fluid for the clutch. It doesn't use brake fluid like most motorcycles. Now, when it comes to the ugly, this bike, I actually like a lot the way the KTM looks. And I have a soft spot for orange, but the bike comes with this gigantic desert tank, which is pretty old. There are some cracks on it. And the problem with the desert tank is, yes, you get a lot more fuel to go around and to have fun. But it's a nightmare to access anything underneath. I really hate that I cannot get to the carburetor every time I want. If you make a carburetor bike, you need to be able to access this. Otherwise, put fuel injection, cover it up, and I don't care. Carburetor, I need to get there. Anyway, I digress. On top of that, I really do not like the look of this tank. Another thing is the engine breather hose that usually goes into the carburetor, and all those oil fumes and vapors goes back in and gets burned in, is being cut and disconnected because the collector from the carburetor to the airbox is being replaced. The rebreather hose ends up under the tank, right on top of the cylinder, into one of those breather filters that you see on muscle cars and stuff. So it's over there, over time accumulates oil and the oil starts leaking on it. We're gonna have to take care of that. That's about it. And amazingly enough, I really like this rear view mirror that gets out of the way. So some people might think this is ugly. I think this is fantastic. It meets regulation and it gets out of the way. So right on. So what are the plans for the bike? First of all, we're gonna make it mechanically sound because that's the way it's supposed to be. There is no way around. And obviously we're gonna take care of the few things that really need to be taken care right off the bat. Just like the blinker, because without the blinker, you're not legal. And because the blinker bangs around and I don't want it to bang around. The second thing, we're gonna remove this ugly thing over here for now and see if we'll put it back later, if it's gonna be of use or not. We're gonna take care of the clutch, make sure that it doesn't leak all this clutch fluid all over the bike. and we're gonna take care of the leaking fork. But also we need to do a proper service on the bike, so that is gonna be oil and filters, and then the air filter, and then we're gonna replace the coolant, because I'm assuming the coolant has been in there for a while, so that is gonna get changed. And most likely the brake fluid, the clutch fluid, so pretty much we're gonna dry the bike out and replenish all the fluids with brand new ones, and hopefully that will make it in tip-top shape to start riding it and to start thinking about what to do to it next. There are a few things I procured myself right off the bat, because I knew this bike would need them even before looking at the bike itself. One is a battery, and I decided to go with a lithium battery because I want to keep the bike as light as possible. And this is right about the size that we need. So another anti-gravity battery has been working well for the BMW. So I'm gonna do the same to this. I got a chance to get a pair of new grips. I needed a relay, and when I went to the part department to pick up the relay, I saw those and I was like, oh, I need those. So I got those fairly cheap, KTM original. And this bar I had laying around the garage, and it's definitely straighter than the bar that is on top of this thing right now. So we're gonna put them on and save myself some money. So let's welcome the KTM 525 EXC into the albesadv family. Don't worry guys, this is not gonna be the only bike I'm gonna work on. The Scrambler, the Aprilia and the BMW, they all need love and they all need mods here and there. So there's gonna be video for all of them. But this brings some interesting possibilities into the garage, Supermoto or Sumo specifically. So if you guys like the video, like. If you guys loved the video, subscribe. I know those are difficult times. I know that some of you are stuck home. Some of you are stuck going to work because they have an essential job, so are at risk. Just stay strong, stay tough. For those that stay home and have kids, it's okay. It will pass eventually. It's a new family dynamic when you don't have a single minute for yourself. But if you have a garage and you can get in the garage and work on your bikes, thumbs up. It's like therapy for me, and hopefully it's the same for you. So work on your bike, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.